Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. It's White Rice Wednesday, which means time for my Survivor recap. So to recap tonight's episode, Lavu's coming back. They're all shocked that Joe played his idol last week, and Ashley was wondering the comment that Joe said, and Joe said that he was able to read Ashley's face, which I think is great on Joe's part that he was able to read Ashley's face that well. I mean, it worked. On the Yawa Yawa tribe, it got a little bit personal for Ben. I think the bamboo was like crackling and well, actually snap crackle popped at camp, and it was a little bit much for Ben, and he had to walk away. And he shared that he has PTSD, and I honestly can't imagine what he's going through or what he has gone through. My heart goes out to Ben, but that also makes me think how big of a threat Ben is, because if he reveals his story to a final jury, they're going to want to give him the $1 million. So I actually think that Ben's a big threat right now because of his personal backstory. I mean, I think that'll get some sympathy votes from the jury. The reward challenge was they had to. This is actually kind of fun. They literally had to use their heads in this game. Their feet were tied together and their arms were bound, and they had to basically slither like a snake and use their head to get a ball over these hills, and then they would shoot baskets. And the reward was whoever won first got coffee and pastries, and second place got iced coffee. And Chrissy and Lauren were the sit-outs. The Lavu and Yawa tribe won, and Ryan struggled a lot during the challenge. Like, he kept losing the ball, and that cost Soko to lose the reward challenge. At Lavu, they're enjoying their reward, which they should. I mean, they just came back from tribal council, so this is a definitely sweet treat. And Devin talks to Ashley, and this is how I thought it would go after last week's vote. Devin wants to align with Ashley, and he wants Joe gone because Joe had an awesome move last week, and because of that, he's unpredictable and he's a threat. And Devin wants to see Joe gone. But that also brought up, I think I mentioned this in my recap last week, that how game-changing Joe's move was, because had Lavu gone to tribal council tonight, well, spoiler alert, but had Lavu gone to tribal tonight, it would have been Devin and Ashley. Let's just say they all went for Joe. And let's say Desi and Joe all went for Ashley, let's say. So you have Ashley, 2 votes for Ashley, 2 votes for Joe. There's a tiebreaker. So then only Devin and Desi can vote, and you get 1 for Joe, 1 for Ashley. They can't make a unanimous decision, so Ashley and Joe become immune from the vote, and Desi and Devin have to go for rocks. So that's fascinated me. At the Soko tribe, Ryan feels bad that he lost the reward challenge, and anybody would be in that situation. I'd be like freaking out that this is going to be like a target on my back now. Rourke and Allie seem to have an alliance going on. They were talking a lot, and they were talking that they want to keep the numbers because the original Soko members, they haven't gone to tribal council yet, so they have a full 6 on the tribe now. So once a merge comes, they've got the numbers. And they're talking about how they want JP or Chrissy to go home because Alan just went home last week, so they basically want to dwindle the Heroes tribe down, and neither wants to work with Chrissy, which puts Ryan in the middle because he's been with Allie since day 1 and trusts Allie, but on the other hand, he's formed this friendship with Chrissy and, wants to work with Chrissy because he did save her in the game, and Chrissy also feels loyal to him, so Ryan and her have a loyalty thing going on there. On the Yawa tribe, I'm starting to lose respect for Cole. I'm really regretting putting him in my draft picks. He was, as we saw last week, he can't keep a secret to save his life. And apparently, from what Lauren said and what we witnessed, that he's very disgusting with his food. You see him licking his fingers 1 second and scratching between his legs and then eating. I'm like, it's just disgusting. He's just gross. Like, he's not playing a great social game because he's making enemies here. Lauren doesn't like him. Jessica doesn't want to work with him now because he can't. I mean, she originally did, but now he can't keep a secret. So we saw Jessica, trying to form a relationship with Mike. But I was a little bit upset with Jessica, and I like Jessica, but she convinced Mike to look for an immunity idol because on their island, they found it by the well. So Mike's digging for the idol, and what's Jessica doing? She's sitting there. She's not sitting. She's standing there drinking water. Are you seriously just gonna stand there while he's looking for the idol? I'd be like on the ground, like digging with him. I'd be trying to push him out of the way, trying to get the idol. I mean, I was flabbergasted at the fact that she just stood there and did nothing when he got an idol. But by the way, congratulations to Mike for finding the hidden immunity idol. Use it well. At the immunity challenge, they had to get on a boat and get bags of rice, and they had to get it through these holes, and they had to walk on a balance beam, and then they had to search for balls and get it through this complicated maze. I mean, one wrong move would go through a hole. And I believe it was Mike was one of the sit-outs, but I don't remember who the other sit-out was. Anyway, Lavu was behind for most of the challenge, and it looked like it was going to be close for a while, but then Chrissy ended up struggling on the maze part of it, and it actually cost the Soko tribe the immunity. So Lavu and Yawa came and got the first immunity, and then Lavu got the second. So Soko, if you want to be technical, Soko for the first time is going to tribal council. At the Soko tribe, Chrissy wants to talk to Rourke about the options for the game, and she sees that Rourke's a threat, and Chrissy knows she's also on the bottom too, so she wants to try to figure out a way to get the target off her back. So Rourke and Chrissy discuss game, and Chrissy maybe talks about an all-girl alliance, and Rourke agrees. But Rourke doesn't really want to work with Chrissy at all. She's just, playing the game and just trying to talk to Chrissy, when in reality she's plotting behind her back. And Chrissy then tells JP that there's an all-girls alliance, and JP's on board for voting for Chrissy now. And Allie agrees with Rourke wanting to send Chrissy home, which again puts Ryan in the swing vote position, where originally you would think it would be Rourke in the swing vote position because she's the only healer with 2 hustlers and 2 heroes. So at Tribal, Allie says that Chrissy lost the challenge and she should have stepped back. But Chrissy did offer. I saw that she offered for other people to go in, and somebody at one point did try to do the maze, but I think that that person got it in, but it was kind of one-sided because Allie said that Chrissy should have stepped back and asked for help, but Chrissy did ask for help, but they're just standing there. And then Rourke also said that she didn't like that Chrissy only talked to her that day when she was in trouble. But then Chrissy pointed out that Rourke didn't talk to her either, so it was like a one-way streak there. So it was very clear that Allie and Rourke are voting for Chrissy. And when you lose a challenge and it's your fault, I do believe you have to take some responsibility, and I do think Chrissy took some responsibility, but Allie and Rourke were being totally one-sided. I agree with Chrissy there. And JP feels uneasy with 2 guys and 3 girls, and I don't really think JP should feel uneasy. I think he's in a good spot right now, aligned with Chrissy, And Chrissy only put that in his head so he would definitely vote with her. And Allie made a point saying that once you get to tribal, that's where trust forms, and I agree with that. I mean, once tribal happens, I believe you see where your alliances really stand and who's really telling the truth. So in the end, it came it was 2 votes Rourke and 2 votes Chrissy, and I'm like sitting on the edge of my seat, and it ended up being Rourke sent home, and I'm kind of glad Rourke got sent home. I'm really regretting that I chose Rourke over Chrissy for one of my draft picks. Rourke was a wild card for me for a while. I really could not get a read on her. When I watched her her bio video, I wasn't sure about her, and I was debating going back and forth between her and Chrissy for a while, and I'm really regretting I didn't choose Chrissy over her. Rourke seemed like a bit of a smartass in a way to me. That's just my own opinion. I definitely think that Ryan and Chrissy are in a good spot in the game right now. The previews for next week show that Allie's pissed at Ryan for not telling her about the vote. But Ryan points out that she did put Chrissy's name down. So what was Ryan supposed to do? Saying that, oh, we're going to go this way. Then Allie would have said, hey, Ryan's not trustworthy. And then that could have blown Ryan's game. I mean, these people just fall apart when their alliances are broke. I mean, you can't fall apart in this game. You need to be able to pick up the pieces. You need to be able to hold your head high and move forward in the game, or else that's going to really destroy your game if you're just going to sit around and cry and make your whole game about, oh, you voted work off. I'm so sick of you. I'm sick of this. It's a game. I mean, alliances get broken all the time, but... And then something happens with Cole next week. He passes out, and so there might be a hint that he might be medevac next week. I'm not sure. It's just looking like from the preview that might be where it might be going. And for as much as Cole is annoying and disgusting, I would never want somebody to go home through a medevac. That is just the worst way to go home in this game. You can't help it when you go out from a medevac, and you know, they're all different people out there, and they're all come from different backgrounds, but they all have one goal, and that's to be sole survivor. And to not be voted out of the game and just be pulled from the game from something that's not your control, that's just awful. So I want Cole to go, but I don't want him to go through medevac. I hope he gets voted off. That's another thing too. Cole was also one of my draft picks, and from his behavior, I'm starting to regret having him in my draft pick, so very interesting to see where this will go. So I hope you guys enjoyed Survivor tonight. If you guys want to check out Survivor, it is on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. on CBS. Until next time, stay regal.